Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Artist on Purpose podcast. I'm here with my really good friend, Helen Villarreal. I've known her for a lot of years, actually. Time is not linear for me, so I don't remember when that whole thing started. But she is an amazing ceramic artist. And I know this because I met her in ceramics when I was taking a ceramics class. And I have purchased some of her pieces, so I'm one of her biggest fans. Helen, tell us a little bit about you. What you do as a ceramic artist, where you work, because you're one of the lucky ones that gets to get paid to do art, which is super cool.
Yeah, I really do feel like I'm lucky. I kind of just fell into this career. I never thought that as a young, high school, even in high school, like I never knew what I wanted to do, but it kind of just happened for me. It started taking some classes at Ames. And yeah, ceramics was just a fun class. It was an elective that I just wanted to take for fun. And that is actually where I met you, at the ceramics studio in Ames. And that's kind of where it all started for me, I feel like. Taking a few classes with the different professors there, who most of them are still there. Jamie Autry, Sonia Pacunier, and oh gosh, her name escapes me now, but Shayna Sala.
Yeah.
Yep. So those were my first introductions, I guess, to what I'm doing now. And after Ames, I went to UNC and still didn't know that art was going to be my career. I had started something else and then pivoted and went for the art degree and got my bachelor's in ceramic design from there with Michael Lemke, who was my professor there, who is still there. And now I have the privilege of working there. But before that, I did start working at Ames in their art department, managing their art studios, the ceramic studio mainly. And yeah, it kind of like the path for me, again, wasn't a direct path. I feel like I just fell into it.
Right.
It just happened for me. And I'm really lucky. Like I never thought that I would grow up to be a ceramic artist, if you will. And yeah, now I am recently, 2 years ago, it's been 2 years now that I moved to UNC and started managing their art studios. Currently, I work for the School of Art and Design at UNC, and I help manage all of the art studios. I assist the professors. I have student workers that work for me. But yeah, I guess my ceramics career is separate from that. And so
Right.
I also make and sell my ceramics. And that's, an awesome thing to do. I love making and selling my ceramics. Starting in the summer is when all of my sales come up. I do like the arts picnic and different sales around northern Colorado.
And do you get to build work at UNC? And that's University of Northern Colorado, not North Carolina. Yeah.
Right. You got to be specific.
You got to be very specific.
We're
Yeah.
in Greeley here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get to make some of my stuff at UNC. I work a little bit in their ceramics studio, but I do have a small studio space at home. I have my own wheel and my own kiln at home where I work as well. So I'm kind of in different places when I'm making my work, but I do get a chance to make my stuff at UNC. It's really nice to have the students see me making my work and being back in the studio where I learned to, where I got my bachelor's. I didn't learn to throw there, but it feels very kind of nostalgic to be back in the place where I was a student and helping the students. Like I was once a student and being that person for them. It feels right. Yeah, I get to make my work there and at home. And I teach a small class, the Maker's Mercantile downtown.
Yep.
A lot of artists sell their work there. I'm able to teach a small hand building class there as well and sell my work there. So I feel like I'm kind of a little bit everywhere right now.
Which
really.
I think is how we do it as artists.
Yeah.
We dabble in a little bit of everything. I mean,
Everywhere.
I remember you talking me through hand building because I was so resistant to it. I was like, I hate this stuff because it wasn't, I felt like throwing a pot on the wheel was very fast. And very satisfactory because I could get it done and it looked good. Let's cut it off and let's build another one. Whereas
Hand building takes time.
so much time.
Takes time and patience.
And vision and, you know,
And sometimes it doesn't work out. We always say, or, you know, it was taught to me as a ceramic artist, you can't expect the thing to be the thing until it's final and out of the glaze kiln. Like, if you want one thing to turn out, you make two. If you want two, you make four. So you're always making double.
More. Yeah.
And hand building does take a lot more time. So yeah, I know
and
what you
the
mean.
kiln is its own.
The
It's
kiln,
its own magical, wonderful, terrifying place.
it is. It is. So you never know what to expect when you open up that kiln, and especially in the final glaze. I always say to my students, even, I'm like, don't expect that your pieces, because they get so attached. Some people just get so attached and make this one thing, and it's like they hope and pray and put everything into it, and if it doesn't turn out, then, you know,
They're crushed. They're
they
crushed for
are
life.
so
They don't ever want to
crushed.
do it again.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but I make a lot of stuff, and I'm constantly just, you know, producing. I very much feel like I'm a production artist versus like a show artist. I don't know what the proper terminology would be,
Right.
but I very much make a lot of my stuff to sell
Right.
versus showing in an art gallery, which is where I would like to go eventually. But for now, you know, bills have to be paid
Yeah.
with the gas.
You're a mom. You have household duties that need to be taken care of. So, yeah.
So, and this helps me a lot with
Yeah.
that. So, but yeah, eventually I would like to work on maybe going back and getting my master's and working on a full cohesive body of work that I can show. And really a lot of what I'm thinking is like, I don't want to necessarily show in a gallery. I want to make things that are outside, like outdoor sculptural work where people don't have to go into a gallery to
Right.
see it.
Right.
Because even like as a young person myself, like art was never, again, in my head. Like my mom didn't take me to art galleries or show me art. Like I didn't grow up with it. And a lot of people that I know are like that too. Like they don't know about art galleries or go to art galleries. They see the art that's outside in public, and that inspires them. So I want to be that for the people that don't go into art galleries and see the art in
So
those
you see that
spaces.
doing that in ceramics?
Yes.
Yeah.
I very much do. Yeah. I want to, and metal. I had been doing the welding, a little bit of welding,
Over at Ames?
creative welding class
Yep.
over at Ames. So that's a really good program as well. So combining the metal and the ceramic and making larger sculptural, you know, outdoor pieces that, you know, people don't have to pay to see.
Right.
Again, like I very much feel like people are hesitant to go to galleries and pay to go into a museum to go see art,
Right.
or don't know about it.
Yeah, because they don't know. They don't know what they don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. Well, you of all people are someone that since I've known you, you did come to work for me for a while.
Yes.
One of my favorite team members. Absolutely. Still try to pull you on crew occasionally. But I have watched you grow over the years with what I've seen is a pretty intent and focused path. So you mentioned that you felt like you were just kind of falling into place, but it has been, I remember when you were accepting the job at UNC, but you actively went for that. You were like, this is what I want to do. So you were very much creating that future for yourself to work there. And you made it all happen. I mean, even from the very beginning when we were taking ceramics together.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you said, like I said, I do feel like I fell into it or it just happened for me. But yeah, in a way, I guess I was creating that, thinking about it in my head and making steps towards it, right? So yeah, even I remember when I was getting the initial job at Ames too, right? I was working for you and then
Yep.
I was telling you, oh, this job at Ames and it might come up and I might.
I'm sure I put in a word or two in the right places.
So yeah, even that job was amazing. I worked there for almost 7 years, and
7 years.
oh my gosh, it was the best stepping stone to where I'm at now.
Yep.
And it just happened to happen at the right time, and staying in the same space. So growing up in Greeley, doing all of my, elementary, middle school, junior high, high school, and then my college education, and now my professional career. It's awesome to be able to do that here in my hometown.
Right.
And a lot of people look down on Greeley or
No, they
think
shouldn't do that. They don't know. They don't know.
But I love it here, and I'm glad to say that I've been able to do all of my schooling and my professional career here as well.
So if you go after your master's, where do you think you want to go for that? You've obviously given it some thought.
I've given it a lot of thought, and going back and forth, and I hold myself back, and then I'm like figuring it out. But UNC recently brought back their MA program, so.
Okay.
When I was a student there in undergrad, they'd had it for a while and then it went away. But our recent director, Donna Goodwin, who is my boss currently as well, has revamped it and brought it back. And it's a distance learning, so it's not like necessarily on campus, but being there as an employee, I would have access to the studios. And so the MA program is, I believe, a 2 year, or depending on how many credits you take, right? So, but it's just an MA.
Yep.
And so then I'm thinking MFA versus MA, and the only other closest place, because again, being from Greeley, like I have my family here, I wouldn't be able to go somewhere far away.
Right.
Right. So I might as well do it where I'm at. So that's why I'm thinking UNC MA program. But another option is CSU.
Okay.
They have an MFA program, but not specifically in ceramics. It'd be sculpture, so a little bit different, but still what I want to do, making sculptural work. And yeah, it'll help me focus and hone in on the things that I really want to make to show, right? Like the cohesive body of work. It would give me time to start working on that. So MA at UNC or MFA at CSU, or both, who knows? Like I said, I never really plan things. I just think of them over and over, and when it happens, it happens.
I'm
for
the
me.
same way. Well, you're basically manifesting it. I do that.
Manifesting.
Absolutely. So I do the
Yeah.
same thing. I think about it, and
Over and over.
I talk myself out of a lot of stuff. But
I do.
You and I think, are a lot alike. That eventually we're like, okay, let's just go do it. Like this podcast, you
Oh,
put
like
me off
dragging my feet.
for quite a while. Then that's okay. So
And we're here now.
and we're here now. We're doing it. So you're a mom. You're full time. You have 3 children.
Yes.
One just turned into an adult.
Yeah.
And so, how have you balanced being an artist, full time work, and raising kids all at the same time? Because all 3 of those are full time jobs.
Yeah, it is. It's hard. It's really hard. And sometimes I'm not perfect at all of them. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I could do this. And sometimes I just can't. And yeah, it's a juggling act for sure. But help from family and friends, and just powering through, just knowing that I have to get it done no matter what.
Yep.
And previous to this job at UNC, the other jobs had kind of been part-time, but then I had like 3 or 4 part-time jobs along with being a mom. So it's hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can't do it, and sometimes I feel like I do okay, and sometimes I second guess myself. But just reminding myself that they're depending on me, my kids and work. And so I think just reminding myself of all the people that depend on me, and knowing that it's not easy for everyone.
No.
I guess there's people out there that have it a lot harder. And so, yeah, just feeling that I'm lucky enough to be where I'm at, and really appreciating it, honestly. Yeah. Appreciation for what I have.
I get a lot of gratitude from you. I feel that from you on a pretty big level.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
which
I
is
really,
pretty awesome.
yeah. It's hard, but, I was raised by a single mom that did it as well. So I had the perfect role model, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a little bit of static happening No, I don't know if it's you or not. Okay. I was just checking to make sure. So you have to cut that out. So my next question is, you started a little side hustle that is not making ceramics. Tell
Yes.
me a little bit about that.
Right. Like you just asked me, how do I manage all of this other stuff?
Right, there's just one more thing.
And then I give myself another thing to do. But it's a small business that I started with a few friends of mine, Mitchell Wilcox and Kelly Carmichael Casey. They are local artists here as well, but the business is Northern Colorado, or NoCo Creative Reuse.
Okay.
And we are essentially, I break it down to like a thrift store for art supplies. So we take donations of used art supplies, and it's funny because Mitchell says we rescue art supplies. We rescue art supplies and then resell it to the community at a fair, low cost. Because, art supplies, either, you have a whole bunch of it and it's just stored somewhere in your garage and you don't know what to do with it, or, to keep it from going in the landfill, we take it as a donation. A lot of people don't have access to new art supplies, right? And here in Greeley, the only new or art supplies we can have access to is like Michael's and Hobby Lobby, and who, wants to support certain, I'll leave that out.
We'll leave the politics out. But
Yes.
there is also the art showcase. But
The art showcase,
but she
yes.
has supplies. But
And that's kind of more specific, right? Like
right.
paint, watercolor, acrylic paints, and whatnot. But yeah, we take in donations of anything that could be used for art materials, art supplies. Currently, we are at the Greeley Armory. We rent a space for storage and then do pop-ups once a month. So soon we're thinking about moving, but we'll always be here in Greeley. But the dream is to have a storefront and have all of the supplies in there and be able to sell it all the time and have a full-time business. And when I thought of this, it was when I was a student at UNC, an undergrad student. I was in a arts entrepreneurship class, and we had to think of an art business that we
Okay.
wanted to start, or anything that's art related as a business. And this was my idea. So I looked around and did some research to try and find if there was places like it. And there is art parts in Boulder, but still a ways away. So that was 10 years ago now. That was 10 years ago when I graduated with my undergrad from UNC. So about 11 years ago when I thought of this idea. And so to finally bring it into fruition 10 years later is amazing. It took a while, but
yeah.
all the right pieces had to fall into place again. Like I met
Right.
Kelly, who was a former board member of other, they call them reuse centers, creative reuse centers all over the country. There's different ones. I met her one day at the Mercantile. She was looking at my stuff, and and then we started talking, and it just kind of happened again. She's like, "Oh, I wrote a book on this, and I'm familiar with this idea, and I would love to help you get it started." So, meeting the right people at the right time again. It was 10 years later, but it's happening now, and we're really small, but we'll get there. It's a growing thing. But yes, one more thing to add onto my plate. But it's more of a passion project, really.
Right.
It's something that I feel I could have used as a student.
Right.
And a lot of people in this town could use. And for both, buying stuff and donating stuff. And like, it's just like we help each other out. Like it's the perfect thing.
So all of you art hoarders out there, if you need a place to put
Please.
to donate your stuff, there is actually a place in Colorado to do this.
Yes.
So and then they can resell it to artists in need, which is great.
Yep.
So and your pop-ups, you just set up in the armory, outside of the armory. I think I've seen both.
Yep.
Yeah.
So as long as the weather cooperates, we can set up outside, and that's really nice because people can see us from the street. But currently with the cooler weather, this winter's been
that's weird.
So inside on the main stage, we set up the first Saturday of every month. So this Saturday, April 4th, we'll be there from 10 to 2. And we'll be there also in May, but then after that we are planning to move over to the Maker's Mercantile, maybe renting a space there where we can have a permanent little, a
Like
space,
a little space, right? Yeah.
where anybody could come shop any day of the week that the Mercantile is open, and then we'll do our pop-ups there out front. So,
Okay.
but yes, with my partners Kelly and Mitchell, we make it happen.
So
It's a lot of work.
how do you advertise it? How do you let people know?
Mostly social media. Instagram makes it so easy, but still working on it. Trying to do flyers, but then that kind of flyers create waste, and we're trying to prevent waste, and so it's tricky. So word of mouth has helped a lot. Stuff like this. Hopefully, the podcast will work. Facebook, obviously, but Facebook is a little tricky for me. But mainly the word of mouth, honestly, has been helping a lot, and the Instagram.
Right.
So if you have any suggestions of better ways of reaching people or getting the word out, I would love some suggestions.
I think you're doing most of them. I mean, social media plays a part. It's not its final end all, but
Yeah.
it definitely plays a part. And actually doing the social part of it, where you're interacting on other people's posts.
Yes.
You know how that works.
Yes.
Which is hard to do when you have all the other things going on in the world. So,
So many things.
yeah. So I'd say that, but also just being present and showing up in places. I think that's
Yeah.
a big part of it as well.
Yep.
We talked a little bit one time about the Restore. Did you ever follow up on that as
No,
an option?
and the thing is, because we're technically not a nonprofit.
Oh, you are a
currently.
for-profit company.
We are a
They are
for-profit.
nonprofit.
Yeah. So partnering with people, or even just getting funding, we're all self-funded as well. So
Right.
Initially, of course, the dream is to make it a nonprofit eventually. But initially, just to get it started and up and going, the LLC route was kind of like the fastest route.
Easiest way to do it.
Yeah, nonprofit has a lot of
Hoops.
to jump through, and with things going on now, it's nonprofits are kind of getting the
Yeah.
short end of the stick, if
Yeah.
you will.
That's true. Well, it's still people need a place like that to be able to get. I mean, I have a lot of art supplies, but I'm not willing to get rid of any of them
know,
because I
right?
might need them for something.
Exactly. And I did the same thing. So we started out, again, just self-funded and with a lot of our own supplies. And the supplies that I had was stuff that I had still from undergrad that I was like, I'm going to use this again, and never did. So
Never
I'm
did.
like, okay, someone else is going to use this, and it's going to be amazing. So it's so nice. It's nice that we've gotten so many donations, and then people that come buy the stuff. It's just nice to see that, like, it's working.
It is working.
It's working. And again, the dream is to have a storefront. I see so many empty spaces here in town that I'm like, that's a perfect spot, and that's a perfect spot, but it's so expensive.
They want premium money for
Yeah.
it, and there's not premium, unfortunately, business to come in right now. So
Yeah.
it's a tough situation. I
Yeah.
think
But ideally-
downtowns across America are
Ideally, it would be downtown.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
It'll be easier.
Like I said, we're hoping to move into the Mercantile soon, and that's a good little.
they've been doing some amazing things over there.
They-
So
they do. Yeah.
I think that'll be a
I've
good
been
match.
there as a vendor as well, selling my ceramics. So I have a little space there where I sell my ceramics, and I also teach a small hand building class, and they always want to partner with me and help me, and so they really love helping their artists. So
Yes.
this is another part of it. So
Yeah, I've said this on podcasts in the past, but we have a really supportive, wonderful artist community here in Greeley, and we all just kind of lift each other up as we go along, and making sure that we're trying to get the word out about what we're
Yes.
doing. So, but you're plugged into a lot of the important things. I mean, I'd say UNC has got to be a great resource for you as well for
Yeah.
letting people know.
Oh yeah, like I
Yeah.
said, as a student, I wish I had something like this, right? And so we can provide for the students, as well as making it easier for the professors to, they provide a lot of the supplies there for the students, but they can't provide everything. So it's just a little community of helping each other out, artist community, and,
Right.
and getting the word out. Yeah.
So if you were to, some person came along and they were like, I want you to build a big giant sculpture. Do you already have in mind what you want to build?
Yes and no. I must confess that I am really bad about writing stuff down or drawing or sketching anything, but there's ideas in my head, yes. And how I would go about it, it's just a process. For me, art, I love the process, and the process is really what does it for me. So it'd just be me going into the studio and like working something out. Maybe a few sketches beforehand, ideally, but not necessarily. And yes, at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
A lot of my work is very nature inspired. So I like adding texture and, rocks and things really draw my attention. So, and then I really want to put myself into it. So some of the initial ideas that I've had is like a self sculpture with a lot of texture where it's me as the sculpture, but I'm incorporated into nature, if you will. So like laying down on the ground and just like feeling the earth. And so that's like an initial idea that I have. Just something in the back of my head.
And working with clay definitely gives you
Right.
that. Yeah.
All of that. Like I'm working with the earth and I'm grounding myself and I'm using all of my surroundings as an inspiration. So kind of just incorporating all that together somehow.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Very cool. So when do you still mix up glazes and create new glaze recipes? Or
As
do you
far
pretty
as
much have
new-
standard recipes?
Right. Yeah. At UNC, just like at Ames, when I work there, we do mix and make our own glazes. And oftentimes we are making new ones. Mostly the students are formulating some of the new ones. But yes, making the glazes with all the chemicals and getting dirty. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Have there been any major failures in your pottery or your glazes? Or tell me about
All the time.
all the time.
All the time. Yeah. You think that I've done this before over and over, and this is going to turn out the way I see it in my head. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. Like, yeah, glaze is never, or just ceramics in general, is never a certain thing until it's done and glaze fired. So lots of failures, lots of successes. And can I remake this? Yes, and sometimes not.
Right.
So yes and no again.
So sometimes
It's
you can
never
make 10 of the same vessel,
Yes.
that all the same size, all the same diameter,
Yes.
and you glaze them all exactly the same, and yet after they come out of the magical dark box of the
Yeah.
kiln, they all look different. What's that all about?
so
Yeah.
many variables, and then people ask you like, why is this happening? And sometimes you can answer it and sometimes you can't. So
Yeah.
glaze sometimes tends to do its own thing. So yes, you can repeat things and sometimes you can't.
Right.
It's all about the process. Again, the process is really what does it for me in my art. Just going along with it, letting things happen. Again, like my life.
Yeah.
So it's really a kind of, I don't know, juxtaposition of my life and my art. Like they're very much the same. Like never know what's really going to happen, but I just go with it, play along, and hope for the best.
Right. I love that.
Yeah.
So if you were talking to a new artist that wanted to get into it, like follow in your footsteps, learn how to be an artist for a living.
Yeah.
Because artists get a bad rap. Hey, can you come do this for free? Can you donate
Oh,
this?
gosh.
Can you do whatever? And people don't realize that we do this because it comes from within, and we have to be able to produce, right? We have to produce for ourselves, but we've got to make money doing it in order to keep doing it.
Right.
So if you are talking to a new person, young, old, whatever it may be, that wants to get into art, what are some words that you would say to them?
Ooh, I don't know, because I tend to like sell myself short, if you will. Yeah. But like I said, I do make and sell a lot of my work. And what I would say to them, gosh, I don't know. Honestly, I'd say try it and don't sell yourself short.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I do tend to, you know, maybe be a little too, I don't even know what exactly I would say to someone just starting out. Do your best and yeah, don't sell yourself short. Let's see what else. Believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Know that you can make quality stuff and sell it for like what you believe it's worth.
Yeah.
Know your worth. Yeah. Because sometimes maybe I don't know my own worth and I'm like, I often, yeah, sell myself short, let people take advantage and don't value myself.
Right.
That's where I'm getting at. So value yourself, know your worth, and don't be afraid to charge what you think is fair.
Yeah. Charge fair and say yes, right? Say yes.
Say yes and say no.
Yeah. Say no when it doesn't feed
Yeah.
your soul.
Yeah.
Right. So you mentioned that a number of times that you sell yourself short. Is that because you don't have in pricing your work, right?
Yeah. It's
A
hard
lot
to price
because it's
your
very
work.
hard to price your work because you know when you put all that time, energy, it's sitting at the wheel, it's producing, letting
lot
it
of
dry,
work.
it's trimming, and then you're going to glaze it, and then it's got to go. I mean, there are hours invested in watching a single pot go from beginning to end,
Yeah.
and you can't really charge for all that time.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time the pot's just sitting there doing nothing, right?
Yep.
It's doing its next phase in the process. So do you find that you price based on what you think people will buy?
Yeah. I feel like I price based on what I would buy, honestly, because
Okay.
like if I can't afford it, I'm not going to buy it. And so I very much do. I price my stuff fairly. I have a booth partner when we do our sales, Jennifer, and we kind of pride ourselves on keeping the prices fair. Because honestly, as before I was an artist, like I wouldn't ever be able to buy anything. Like I think of what would I pay for this? And yeah, I try to not overprice and I often get a lot of feedback from people like when they come to the sales and buy my work, they're like, "Oh, your stuff is pretty cheap. Like why are you selling it for so cheap?" And then I'll get people that are like, "Oh, it's too expensive. Like why are you
Right.
So I get both ends of the spectrum. And so I just kind of keep it middle ground. What would I pay for this? What can I afford? Even like now like I don't think I would pay more than $20-$30 for a mug. And so just things like that. Like I
Right.
keep it very fair.
Do you do research on other people's art to
I
see
do.
kind of
I
where they're
like to
priced?
look around. Like we
Yeah.
do. We look around. We shop the other people's booths and see what they're charging. And then we're like, okay. I mean, a lot of people do. They put a lot of work. Like they're making their mugs and making them very elaborate and doing all these things, spending almost hours on a piece, and they can charge what they want to charge. And for me, I'm producing. I'm
Right.
making things quickly, and it is quality. I do make it fast.
It
and,
is
and
quality, I
do-
can guarantee that. Yes.
and I do keep the prices fair. I do. I don't want to overcharge people and I have, like I said, I've gotten both ends of the spectrum. Like, oh, you charge too much or not enough, and you
Right.
should charge more. And why is this so expensive? And why is so?
And have you dealt with the perceived value part of it yet?
Explain. What do you mean? Like,
So, perceived value is there's if something looks like it should be more money, even though you know you spent less time on it,
yes,
but it looks like it should be more money. It's bigger, heavier, whatever that means. There's a perceived value on that. Does that play a part in your pricing?
yes,
'Cause-
yeah.
'cause
If
you don't
it's
have a
bigger,
formula.
then you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I wing it. I wing it all. My life is just one big like I don't know. I just
Yeah,
go
I
with
mean,
the flow.
I have a formula in my business, and it took me a long time to get to it, but
Yeah.
I have it. Do I always stay with that formula? No, because sometimes there's a perceived value
Yeah.
element of it because I know it's gonna look bigger, better,
Right.
more intricate, or whatever it
Bigger
is.
means it's more
More
expensive.
expensive, not all the time. Good
Yeah.
things come in small packages, but
Yeah, I guess so. Like, so there's a thing that I make in particular, and it's my little mini mugs.
I know they're so cute.
I love making them, and what I charge for them, I think is probably too much, and some people do think it's too much, and then I'm like, but I think it's fair, and so then people think, oh, because it's small, it's cheap, it's the cheapest thing you have, but
No,
it's
it
not
took a lot of
necessarily.
work to make it because these are
So,
like an inch tall, right?
yeah,
They're
they're just
really
little
tiny.
itty bitty
Yeah.
baby cuties, and I love making them. And again, I get the
I
oh,
have
it's
I have
too
a couple of them.
expensive.
I have a little vase as well that you
Oh,
could
yeah.
put one little flower in.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, perceived value. Just because it's small doesn't mean it's the cheapest thing, right? And then my bigger pieces, I do a lot of what's called slip casting as well.
Yep.
And it's a faster way of producing ceramics, and so those aren't necessarily just because they're bigger, they're more expensive. But yeah, I like to keep a good
But you
range.
could
I
charge
could,
more
I
money
could.
because it is bigger and people have a different perceived
Yeah,
value on that. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. So I mean, it's hard when to set. I think to price your art, I think it's really
hard.
hard to do because
So
you
hard.
want it
And
to
then people
move.
ask me, they're like, how do I do it? And I'm like, you got to come up with your own system, and I can kind of tell you what I do, but it's not like a perfect system. And
Yeah.
again, I'm winging it half the time.
We just won't tell anybody that. Yeah, it's a secret. Yeah, I mean that's interesting. I know for me, I had to come up with a system
Yeah.
that was fair,
Yeah.
that tracked everything, tracked all my time, and
Right.
and now it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
That's how I figure out if somebody calls me for a new design. That is how I base that original thing, and then I go, okay. So how much material is going to go into this? How much
Time.
additional time because it's a new design. So even though I might have this is what the base would be.
Yeah.
I will add more on because it's I've never done it before. If I do stuff over and over and over again,
Yeah, exactly.
I
That's what
can
I
get
do.
this price for it.
I do it over
But
and over.
I'm only using this much energy. Where if it's a new thing, that scale goes backwards, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, because your mugs, you're producing them all the time. So, but that doesn't mean since you've spent less time on them that you should charge less for
Yeah.
them. So,
No.
yeah,
Yeah.
Very
Especially
interesting.
those little ones. They're like, these can't be yeah.
you
They
can
take
get
just as
one
long.
teaspoon of coffee in there. So
They're so cute.
they are
My
cute.
favorite thing to make.
So plans for you? You've got a master's degree on your plate for the future.
For the future, yeah, definitely. Like I want to show my kids, everybody that it's possible. It's a lot of work, but yeah, even just getting a bachelor's, right? Like nobody in my family,
Right.
my mom, my brothers, nobody's ever gotten any sort of college degree. So now, hopefully, working towards a master's will be one more thing that I can show people that it's possible.
You're like a living legacy. I mean, you're like a Greeley living legacy. One day you will be on the Arts Legacy Commission.
Oh.
If you haven't already been nominated for that, you
No.
should be. So
I'm like, yeah, Greeley is my home. Like, I don't think I'd ever move from here. Like, I would love to just be here and always do my art. And the
Right.
art community in Greeley has grown quite a bit, substantially
Yeah.
in the last few years. So I would love to be a part of that.
Yeah.
See my face on a billboard somewhere, maybe as on a
Yeah.
poster or something. I don't know.
you're videotaping this? Oh my gosh, I
I
didn't
know,
wear the
I'm
right
like,
clothes. Yeah.
I don't look right. No, just kidding.
That's okay. Well, if you're ever on a billboard, then I'm sure that
I'll be prepared.
you'll be more prepared for that instead of this. Well, any final things that you would want to say that we should be looking for? I mean,
The Creative Reuse Center, like I said, that's my passion project. So that's the thing that I'd really like to push
Okay.
and kind of put out there and, sending good vibes and manifesting all the good things for that.
Yeah,
keep
well-
a lookout for it. And
And I'll think about some other ideas or resources to
yeah, if anybody
maybe help
has-
you figure out how to because I'm sure there are places that
Yeah.
you can post. Maybe the radio stations have a free,
What's the way to get it out there
yeah.
more? Yeah.
because it's hard. I
is.
agree. It's very hard when you're doing that.
Yeah.
And you want people to do it. You want people to utilize it. So, but I think the armory has been a good
Oh yeah.
start for you.
Oh, for
So,
sure. Perfect start. Good stepping stone. And that's what it is, right? Like you have to keep going from there. You can't stay stagnant. Just
Yeah.
keep growing.
Yeah,
So
that'll be awesome.
hopefully you guys see me somewhere else in
We
the
will.
future.
We will. We'll keep seeing you make art. And so I just want to tell you about one piece of art that I have from her. I have two. I have her nestling mother-daughter. Is that, was it just?
Yeah, it's just it could be whoever you
Yeah,
want it to be, right?
it was-
it's not
I
specific.
watched her build it. So
Yeah, I
it was
remember.
over the course of time. And then she made this other beautiful kind of round, I call it kind of a round chubby pot, but it's skinny on the side, but it's chubby on the side. And she was like, I can't let you have that because it has a crack in it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
Yes,
She was
yes.
so upset about this crack
Yeah.
because, like she said, stuff comes out of the kiln, and dang it, something
You
happens
put so
to it.
much time.
But-
It was the one thing I just made one of those.
Right.
Again, you put so much time and effort, and then it doesn't turn out. It's like soul crushing.
You were so
but
upset. And then I said what to you? Do you remember what I said?
don't remember.
Yeah, so
Tell me.
I told you the story about the ceramic artist when things break, they put them back together and then they put
Mm-hmm. The
gold on them.
Kintsugi.
So it is because it's still a valuable piece,
Yeah.
right? And so she put gold in it, and then I have that piece. It's truly one of my favorite pieces.
And
So
I think both of those pieces have this glaze on it. It's like a
that
texture glaze.
crackle, that
Yes.
white crackle,
Oh,
bubbly crack. Yeah,
Beautiful. I love that glaze.
yeah.
Yeah.
So very beautiful pieces. So I am the proud owner of those. One I bought from an art store or an art show with
Yeah.
the National Greeley Arts Association when we were doing that.
Yeah.
God,
Is that still going on?
no, we
Okay.
ended that a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Just became too much for
Yeah.
volunteers to keep
Yeah.
putting on a national show. So,
It
but
was
yeah,
fun.
so, and now more people will know about Helen.
Hopefully, when I get famous one day, they'll be worth something.
You will be famous one day. So we can all manifest that with her.
Oh, yes.
She's going to be on a billboard. She's going to get her master's
Mm-hmm,
degree, and she's going to build large ceramic and steel sculptures, which I think that would be great.
I would love it.
No, I really appreciate you taking the time. I know.
Thank you.
I know this is pulling you in.
Yeah,
and,
it's a lot
and I'm
for
glad that
me.
you did.
I'm very much an introvert, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Don't apologize because that's what gets you going.
Yeah.
And so, and
You got to push yourself.
yeah, and you will get it done. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It takes a while, but sooner or later I do.
Yes.
Yes.
And I will see that to be true when you accomplish all those amazing goals.
Yay.
So
Thank
anyways,
you.
well, thank you so much. I
Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
having me.
All right. Talk soon. Bye, everybody. Thanks
Bye.
for tuning in.